security came out, I was already going into what was called Immigration and Customs Enforcement, was ICE. Okay, so, which, by the way, ICE does more than any other agency in the world to knock out pedophiles. You know, so because I know that's been a topic, people want to get rid of ICE. That's insane.
Absolutely.
But anyway, so I worked under ICE. It was the Department of Homeland Security Investigations, and I went down the border to combat terrorism. And I was there for only 6 months. I had the office I wanted. I looked into Mexico from my office. We were crawling under tunnels. We were finding all those tunnels during this time, so the early 2000s. And we were, doing what I wanted to do. And my boss called me in. And he said, "Hey, we've selected you to help us start this new group, an anti-child trafficking group." And I literally, like most of my colleagues and even the world, what's child trafficking? What are you talking about? No one was talking about it. And it turns out it's the fastest growing criminal enterprise in the world. And so that was my introduction into it. They just kind of threw me into it and said, figure it out, help us design the policies, help us.
All right, Tim, I'm going to cut you off and tell you that I was ignorant even about that fact. And I love doing this show because I always tell people, I come into these conversations ignorant and I get to learn from the experts. I was ignorant. So the fastest growing enterprise in the world is child sex trafficking.
Fastest growing criminal enterprise in the world.
That is insane.
Selling of people.
Wow.
Yep. 30 million people are enslaved. About 8 million children are enslaved, whether it's sex slavery, slave labor, or organ harvesting, which is something we are working on mostly in the Middle East.
Okay, I don't think the majority of Americans know that information.
They do not know.
That is incredible. Okay, so you get that call, you didn't know what it was, and you say, hey, you're now going to be the guy that's working on that. Like, what next?
So we start working these cases, and I was scared to death. I said no at first. I went back to my wife and I said, "Can you believe they asked me to work this?" And we had little children at the time, and she says, "There's no way you're doing this. You'll bring darkness into our house." I said, "Yeah." So I went. I was preparing my talk, my speech to tell my boss no. He's a big, burly guy. I was scared of him. He had this big hook mustache, and I had to go tell him no, and I didn't want to do that. And I remember kind of rehearsing my speech in the mirror that next morning.
Let's hear it.
And it was.
Let's hear it. I know you know it.
I never figured it out.
Okay.
I never got it out. I didn't have to. And it was a really sweet story. My wife came into the bathroom and she had tears in her eyes. And she said, "I'm wrong. We're wrong. You have to do this." For the very reason that we thought you couldn't do this because we have kids is the reason you have to say yes.
Wow. Because
we have kids. And if it's true, and we didn't even believe the stats at the time, I know they're true now, about this being such a pervasive crime against children, then of course we can't walk away from it. And so my speech became easy. It was just yes. And we started in, and it was 100 times worse than I could have even perceived in my mind. The things that people do to children. And these are young children. People think we're talking about child pornography or child trafficking. They think 16, 17, and certainly those are technically minors. That's not even what we're talking about. We're talking about 5 years old, 6 years old, 7 years old. What people are doing to these children. In the last couple of years, there's been a 5,000% increase in child rape videos on the internet. And these are little children that are being abused this way. So I got into it. We started working it. And something shifted in 2006. George W. Bush signed into law the Adam Walsh Child Protect Act. And what that did changed my life. A tiny little part of that bill, there used to be a statutory requirement that if you wanted to go after American pedophiles who were hurting children overseas, you had to prove that they had the intent to rape that child while standing on U.S. soil, which before 2006, we had 0 prosecutions, because you can't prove that. He eliminated that statutory requirement, which opened the gates, and they sent me overseas. I speak Spanish. They sent me to undercover school, and they said, okay, now that we don't have to prove this, all we have to do now is prove that an American left the country, went overseas, sexually assaulted a child, and now we can hold that American perpetrator accountable as if they committed that crime here in this country. It's an amazing new opportunity. So they sent me to undercover school, and they said, go and figure it out and find the kids. And so I did. I worked in Central America and Latin America, going undercover as a pedophile, as a trafficker, whatever I had to do, and it almost broke me. Not just because of the exposure to such darkness, but because if I couldn't find an American pedophile on one of these operations, had to come home because we had no dog in the fight. The U.S. government couldn't do anything legally. But I always thought,
Wait, hold on. Wow. So if you were overseas and you did find, yes, this is a pedophile, this person is involved in sex trafficking, unless you could locate one American that you had to walk away from the situation. Am I understanding that correctly?
that's correct.
Wow, that's really heavy.
It was hard, and I didn't blame. I would have made the same decision. It's a constitutional question. It's a legal question. And the country that we're working with, they said, "Where are you going, Tim? You've made yourself the bait. If you walk out of this, it's over. The bad guys think you're the guy. You walk away from this." But we didn't have a budget. We didn't have a constitutional mandate to be there, and it was kind of an unintended consequence of the whole thing. And there was 2 cases I was working, one in Haiti and one in Colombia, where I got too deep. I went further than, frankly, I was supposed to go. I got so impassioned trying to find these kids that oftentimes I'd be sent down to do a training, and I would kind of go further, and I would do the undercover work and kind of set it up. And there was 2 cases, one in Colombia, one in Haiti. Like I said, I learned about this little boy. His name is Gardy. In fact, I wear his name on my wrist. This little boy, Gardy, was a U.S. citizen, is a U.S. citizen, kidnapped in Haiti, living in Haiti with his family. He's of Haitian descent. He's the only one of his family that was actually born here while the family lived in the United States. And he was kidnapped from the church where his father was the pastor, and kidnapped and trafficked. Haiti's like, I think, number 3 per capita in the world for human trafficking. And I promised his father that we would never stop until he found his son. And I thought, because he's a U.S. citizen, I can make this work. The DOJ came clear to me, and they said, no, this is a Haitian crime. There's nothing, you got to come back. But I'd already promised the father, right? So, and I did the same thing in Colombia. I went too far in the case where we were set up to do a big takedown, rescue over 100 kids. But again, I overcommitted, and we didn't have a mandate to be there. So then it was, now what? I'm 12 years in this job. I was an undercover operator for the U.S. government. And I went back to my wife, and I said, what do we do? Like, I can't work these cases anymore. And it was my wife. It's always my wife, by the way, who directs me. And none of this would have happened without her. She says, well, it's very simple. You have to quit your job, and we'll just figure it out. And I had just been on the Glenn Beck show for a book I wrote. It had nothing to do with trafficking. And I didn't know Glenn that well, other than I was on a show once. And he didn't even know what I did for a living, except I wrote this book about American history, about religious liberty. It was kind of my hobby. And I called Glenn, and I said, I'm stuck. I need to tell you what I do for a living. And against all the advice of his attorneys, of his company, he said, I can't say no to this. And he raised the money for us to go back down and do those 2 hits. Glenn Beck is the co-founder of all these, according to me, he really is. He's one of our closest friends and allies to this day. So we went down and we quit. We started this foundation. I pulled in a kind of a coalition of willing people who would work for free because I didn't have enough money. Former Navy SEALs, guys I knew in the government who came in, former FBI, Homeland Security guys, local cops. We went down and we were successful. We went in Colombia and rescued over 100 kids on that operation. And on the Haiti operation, we found the captors. We liberated the other children. They had 28 children that they were holding captive. And we were able to liberate those children, get the bad guys in jail. But the little boy, Gardy, who I wear this to remember him, he wasn't there. He had already been sold. And we haven't found him yet.
Wow. I want to ask a question. When you say, I know you're oversimplifying. You went down there and liberated them, right? Yeah. That sounds super easy, like you pressed a button, and it's not pressing a button.
No, it's not.
What does that take? Take me through the day when this operation is going to come into fruition. So you're watching these guys, you're studying them, you know who the players are, you know where the children are, right? Who are the people? Because you assembled this team, now you're on your own. You don't have government support, right? Who is around you? Who are you? Are you working with the government in Colombia? who are the men that are going in and busting down doors? What does it take?
Yes, excellent question. So yes, we always work with government, or we won't work at all. So we basically become consultants for the government, and they'll sign us up as informants, officially, legitimately, as informants that allow us to legally then go undercover on behalf of the government. So in the case of Haiti, we went down there. We were able to get phone records. See, a place like Haiti, here's the problem: these kids that get trafficked and kidnapped in these countries that are developing, there's almost no hope because a lot of these countries, most of them, don't even do proactive investigations. We're very blessed to live in this country. We have, first-class law enforcement, federal, state, local. Over there, they don't. And a proactive investigation, which is required to liberate children, they don't do them. It's all they can do to keep up with the reactive, the dead bodies, the homicides they have to deal with every day. And so we were able to go in and say, look, we'll help you do these proactive investigations. So we helped them, and they got phone records, and we were able to locate this place where we were certain that the little boy had been taken at one time. And so we flew a drone over really high over it, and we're just mortified to see we counted 20 some odd children in this compound. There was high walls, you couldn't see around it. And then we had to get in. So what's going on in there? So we drive up to this place, and they painted on the wall in Haitian Creole, Happy Day Orphanage. Well, there's no registered orphanage in Haiti, Colfax. And so we know it's a front. What are they doing? Well, we know what they're doing. They're selling. If there's 8 million children who are being sold into slavery, 2 million of those are just sex slavery every year. How do those kids get into the market? This is how they get into the market. After the big earthquake in Haiti or in any kind of natural disaster, what happens is people do this. They throw up a sign that says orphanage. And in the wake of the chaos, innocent people are taking children. Oh, they come here. And it's harvest time for the traffickers. This is how children get put into the sex trafficking or the labor trafficking market. And so the Haitian government volunteered me to go undercover and just walk into this place.
You just walked in.
Just walked in.
Blind, walked in, didn't know what you were walking
That's
into.
right.
You were going to get killed.
That's right, because we had no other option. We couldn't get any more intel except that someone went in. And being an American, I would have more ability to kind of trick them, right? Because I don't look like I work for the Haitian police.
No.
So we wired me up, cameras, glasses, cameras in backpacks, hidden cameras, and I walk into this place, and it was probably the most emotional moment I had in my career at that point. Because I walk in, I see these kids. There was 28 children. The youngest is 1. The oldest is like 13. And they're just miserable. And I know what's going on. Like I can tell. And the people came up to me immediately. They weren't even worried. They said, "Oh, you must have heard what we do here." I said, "Yeah, of course. That's why I'm here." Okay, so the kids are $10,000 each, just like that. Instantly. And I said, "Yeah, that's why I came. I have a contact up in New York City that I had my legend, my story in my mind of what I was going to do and say." And so we start negotiating. I'm looking for little Garvey. I'm just dying. I'm just like, where is he? I can't tell. There's these dark outbuildings around him, so I want to get into those. And so the police had told me, because again, we work under their jurisdiction, if you can't find Garvey and they offer to sell you the child, buy the child. Go through with the deal. Let them conclude this deal, which will give us the evidence we need to then take this place down. And then we'll really be able to find Garvey. So at this point, I have to pick a child to buy in a sting operation. I'm looking around, and I actually have the undercover footage. You can see this, because I had another guy with me. There's 2 of us that walked in, and so he caught me as I'm looking for this kid. Who am I going to buy? And this beautiful little boy, he's about probably 2 years old. He basically picks me, and he walks up to me, and I just hold this little boy in my arms. And I said, okay, he's the one I'm going to buy. I take him in my arms, and I walk into some of the outbuildings while my colleague is keeping the traffickers occupied, negotiating a price and so forth. And so I'm looking in, I got my camera to pick up any other faces, any other children. And as I'm walking into this dark outbuilding on this premises, this dirty, smelly, evil place, I hear the footsteps of another child who's following me. And I swing around, and there's this 3-year-old girl. And she I'll tell you in a minute why I'm getting so emotional. There's a reason. And she's looking at me and she's looking at him, and I want to kind of get her out of the way. I don't want to create, a lot of attention around what I'm doing. So I give her a candy bar. Now these kids were all, you find out later, I could tell in the moment, all of them were on the verge of starvation. And I give this little girl a candy bar. She's probably never seen a candy bar. And I said, take this outside, you can eat it outside. And I have children, I know this, they respond to that. This little girl did something I'd never seen any child do. She took the candy bar, she broke it in half, almost like muscle memory, not even thinking, without taking her eyes off the little boy in my arms. Breaks that candy bar in half and hands the other half to me. And I just knew, God told me in that moment, they're brother and sister. All they have is each other. That's it. And what have I done? How many Americans have come down to this place, picked up a child, and that child disappears forever, and this little girl's not going to let that happen. And so I broke the cardinal rule of undercover operators in that moment. It was the first and last time I ever did it. And I knelt down, I put the little boy down. Right when I put him down, she grabs him and protects him from me, which is the sweetest thing. This little girl is just my hero. And then I broke this rule by telling them who I was, that I am here to help them, and that they need to help me, and just go along with what I'm doing, and we will get you guys out of here. And she knew this girl's brilliant. She's gifted in a way that most children aren't. And so she does, and she goes along with this. We end up getting the kids out. We buy those kids in a sting operation, in a sting deal. We had to go to another hotel that we had set up, where we had cameras wired to make sure we got all the dialogue, all the evidence we needed. It went off perfectly. The traffickers got arrested. They liberated the orphanage, the false orphanage. And little Gardy, of course, wasn't there. But the father, I told you about the father of this little boy who I met, who I made the promise to, that we would never, he's a pastor of his congregation. It was a Christian church. I promised him that we would never stop until we found his son. He's waiting in another hotel for the good news. He's waiting for me to walk through the door with his son in my arms. And we all knew that was going to happen. We believed it. And I still had hope at this moment when the police raided the front orphanage that Gardy would be there. And about 30 minutes later, they called me with the devastating news that he's not here. We got 28 kids, but we didn't get him. And I had to go back and tell this man what happened. And it was the most difficult and most inspiring conversation I've ever had with a human being. I went back, sat down with him. He was in the lobby of the hotel. Without saying a word, he just breaks down. I break down. We're just sobbing without even exchanging any words, because he knew that I didn't have a son. But I did eke out the words to him, but we did get 28 kids out. And then he did this, the most amazing thing. He slaps his hand on the table and he pops his head up and his tears are drying. I'm still crying. He's not. And he said, stop crying. This is amazing. I said, what's amazing? He said, you just told me we rescued 28 kids. I said, yeah, but I'm worried about the one we didn't get. And he says, no, you're missing it. If Gardy hadn't been kidnapped, none of those kids would have had a chance. His kidnapping led to this. And I thought, wow, I couldn't say what you're saying, were roles reversed. And then he said this, the most profound thing anyone's ever said to me. He said, if I have to give up my son so that those 28 kids could be rescued, then that is a burden I'm willing to bear. And we've rescued over 3,000 victims and children since that time. And they're all because of this sacrifice. So back to those two little kids. So I go home that night, and I'm just an emotional mess. Just like, I'm happy and I'm sad and I'm bewildered by this man. He in fact went to the police right after that. I went with him and he said, if you can't find parents for these children who were rescued in the name of my son, I will bring them home. He went home with 8 of those 28 kids. Unbelievable. So I go call my wife that night from this crappy, Haitian hotel room. I remember there's rats running around. That's all we could afford at the time. We were piled up 10 of us in a room. And I couldn't sleep. And I just told her the story. I said, can you believe this? And I said, I want to be like him. Like Gesnomari, that's his name. And she said, and I got to be careful when I say to my wife, because when she says something, I know it's inspired, especially when she says it that way. And she did one of those on the phone, and she said, well, let's be like him. I want to be the mother of those 2 children. that you had to buy, that you bought it with. I want to be their mom. Will you make that happen for me? And I was just like, are you kidding me? Like, I have no money. I just left my security job. I went with him and he said, if you can't find parents for these children who were rescued in the name of my son, I won't bring them home. He went home with 8 of those 28 kids. Unbelievable. So I go call my wife that night from this crappy, Haitian hotel room. I remember there's rats running around. That's all we could afford at the time. We were like piled up like 10 of us in a room. But I couldn't sleep, and I told her the story. I said, can you believe this? And I said, I want to be like him. Like Gaston Marty, that's his name. And she said, and I gotta be careful what I say to my wife, because when she says something, I know it's inspired. Especially when she says it that way. And she did one of those on the phone, and she said, well, let's be like him. I want to be the mother of those 2 children that you had to buy, that you brought it with. I want to be their mom. Will you make that happen for me? And I was just like, are you kidding me? Like, we have no money. I just left my secure job to start a nonprofit. But I knew that she felt it, and we did it. And those kids have been home for 2 years now.
Oh my goodness, that is such an incredible story.
So we have 7 of our own. So that made 9.
You have 9 children.
We have 9, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Just doing the God's work. I mean, that really is God's work. And I really want to just add some, not credit, but just to sort of speak about what your wife was experiencing and what she's feeling. Because as soon as you said, oh, honey, you had me on sex trafficking, and her initial response, that would have been my initial response. Because it's a topic that no one wants to talk about. And it's because it actually so deeply affects us that we want to pretend that it's not happening. And the courage for her to say, this is exactly why we should do it. And I can't imagine how it impacts just your emotionality every single day. There's no way. You cannot just leave the office. There's no such thing as leaving your work at home, because you're seeing something that is just tethers you to your humanity and makes you realize that there are just some really, really, really wrong things about this world. Really horrible things about this world. And I'm guilty of it too. I try to you want to turn the faucet off on certain types of people because you just can't stomach it. And talking about this issue in particular is really hard for people, and I think that's really why so many of us are ignorant about just how extensive the issue really is. So I started this episode with speaking about prostitution, and I want to pivot there.
Yeah.
I was on a college campus, and some kids asked us, what is your opinion on prostitution? And obviously, my gut instinct that I wanted to say is that while I don't agree with it morally, I do think that people should have the right to do with what they want with their body. Then something in the back of my head said, don't put that answer out there, because I don't know that I necessarily agree with that, because if prostitution was legal everywhere, there is no doubt that it would impact child sex trafficking.
Yeah. So I thought long and hard about this, because I too am very libertarian in my political ideals, and love liberty, and I think people should have the right to do what they want to do. I have the advantage that I know who these bad guys are. And most of Amnesty International came out, and I very much disagreed with what the position was. They're trying to promote rights for sex workers. And I get where they're coming from, but they just don't know the bad guys like I know the bad guys. And part of what they're pushing, and in New York State, they're considering a bill to do the same thing. Part of the sex worker's right, according to Amnesty International, and what people are pushing for, is to preserve the rights of the pimp, of the manager of the sex worker. They claim that they need that. Well, I know these guys. Okay, I've been undercover in dozens of countries, dozens of cases. These guys they're wicked, and they're evil, and they're businessmen. And you can sell a child for double or triple what you can sell an adult for in the sex market. And so these guys would love to have their business legitimized. And now they're being regulated, and they're shaking hands with government officials, and everything's good. Of course, I'll never show you the 12 little children who are under 10 years old that I have in the basement. But they're for sale too. And they're going to use this new sex market that the laws have created for them and legitimized for them. And those kids will be hurt. I'm certain of it. I know these guys because I meet with them, and all the guys selling kids also have the adults for sale as well. And they're always trying to upsell you, like, but you can get a 12-year-old for just add on $500 more, and I'll give you a 12-year-old. I got a couple of virgins too. That's $1,000. This is their business. And so to legitimize it, and plus, when you go into these countries that have limited resources, they don't have enough, like I said earlier, to do these kind of proactive investigations already. Now you're going to regulate, you're going to utilize government time, right, that they don't have, and resources to regulate this new market, leaving even less time for them to do what they weren't doing before, which is investigating the cases. So you've legitimized this thing, you've created a sex market, and so the question is this: what's more important, preserving the rights of children from not being raped, or preserving the rights of an adult from being a sex worker? I'm going to choose the children.
Right,
Every time, and that's why I've come down strong in the position of no, do not legalize prostitution. Now, do not criminalize prostitutes either. I'm very much against any prostitute being prosecuted. I've seen too many prostitutes who, once they've come out and told their story, they were that 10-year-old, they were that 11-year-old, and so I would never ever prosecute prostitutes.
So what I see that people try to do when people defend sex work, and especially, I mean, this is happening on a cultural level. I had one guest who explained to me, actually showed me that Teen Vogue, so, you know, she's appealing to 13-year-old prepubescent young women, is saying, has a headline this past year that said sex work is real work, and they go on to defend why sex work should be defended, is defensible, and why we need to open up the laws, and all of this is sort of falling under the umbrella of sexual liberation. And it seems like we never can get sexually liberated enough, right? I mean, it just keeps going, and maybe more sexual liberation. And I'm starting to wonder, and I guess just sort of ask myself the questions, if we're really kind of just hitting at, I guess, unweaving the moral fibers of our society. You know, women, no, we should be able to walk around the streets naked, and we should be able to sell our bodies if we want to. This is freedom. And then when we take a look at it, the thing that's supposed to be freedom is starting to look a lot like bondage. And we are encouraging. I mean, when you look up, and if you're a country and you say, well, America has legalized prostitution in all 50 states, if that was a circumstance, that's a market. And I really wonder about where we're going culturally and how this sort of contributes to what you say is the fastest growing criminal enterprise in the world.
And once people, and this is the thing I said before the interview, I was telling you, the root of that informs everything else is what this is. The fastest growing criminal enterprise in the world is the exploitation of children. And as the more liberal in that sense we become with sexuality, what you said is exactly right. You are leading these kids to bondage. You're going to create this socio-political environment where children are told, go be free, and go on Instagram and take, shirtless pictures and all these. I know the pimps the traffickers are watching. Their highest their best recruiting tool is our social media platforms. And they, I want to be your agent. I want to come do a photo shoot with me. That's how the kids in the United States, by the way, are getting sucked into trafficking. So we are encouraging what they're doing in Vogue and other places. They're encouraging bondage. They just don't realize it because they're ignorant to what is actually happening in the underbelly of this whole country and culture.
Right, and especially when you think about the cyber market in particular. And, we live in this culture that most people think that pornography is okay. Women should be allowed to be porn stars. It's okay to have all of these, this free porn industry at your fingertips if you want to indulge in that. And then you have to ask yourself the question when you see all of these stories break about, children that are being put on the internet. I actually read a terrifying story of somebody who was able to hack into baby cams and kid cams in people's homes and literally be looking at the footage all day of a 4-year-old playing in her room, the 4-year-old getting dressed, and then went and put that on the internet. That is, to me, the most traumatizing, violating thing that I could possibly think of. I'm not a parent yet, but just imagine in your own home and the market that's being created by this idea, again, of what should be liberation.
That's right.
And it's just, it seems like an issue that isn't ever going to be defeated if we continue to provide a market by redefining what morality is and then trying to say, calling things free that aren't necessarily really about freedom, in my opinion.
Right.
Yeah, so it's a really scary topic, and you do so much work in it. I mean, so where do you go from here? You're running this organization. I'm assuming you guys are no longer a startup.
No.
No longer in startup mode, so it was good that you followed your heart.
Yes, yeah.
How many cases do you take on at one time?
So we're in 22 countries, and we're in 25 states. We just had our 1,000th rescue this summer just for the year, which is, so every year's been better than the next. And we just continue to grow and provide the tools and education that jurisdictions, including here in the United States, that don't always have to combat trafficking. The other thing that we picked up, so in 2015, Glenn Beck started the Nazarene Fund to get Christian people out of the Middle East, out of Iraq, as ISIS was rolling in. And he moved, what he did was absolutely phenomenal, by the way. But he'll never get credit. There should be a movie made about it. He moved 10,000 people out. I love what Oscar Schindler did, getting 1,200 Jews out. What an amazing story. Glenn got 10,000 people out of the Middle East and into safety before ISIS came in. And once they came in, we know what they did. Sex slave markets like we've never seen. Christian Yazidi children, women, killed the men. And then a couple years ago, 2.5 years ago, Glenn called me and said, I need you to take over OUR, to take over the Nazarene Fund. So he's still the founder. We still work closely with him in Mercury One. So we're doing a lot of work in the Middle East now. So we're running these operations. ISIS is still alive. They don't have territory anymore. The caliphate has been destroyed, but they still exist, and they still have thousands of kids in the prison. These are some of the most grotesque people I've ever seen. I mean, they recruit pedophiles. Anyone can come in and join ISIS. Pedophiles join because of what they can now do. And so we're still working a lot on opening up those areas and getting those children out.
What country is the worst for sex trafficking?
It's really any developing country that has a resort town kind of is the worst. I'll tell you, we have our biggest office in Southeast Asia. There's a lot going on there in Thailand. A lot of that's where Westerners go to find children, unfortunately. And we actually target Americans. We help the Thai police target the Americans who are coming to abuse their children.
And how are we doing in America in terms of conquering this issue?
We're probably better than any other country because we have the best law enforcement in the world, and we have high-tech solutions that are unbelievable. The Homeland Security investigations, where I came out of,
Okay.
My name is.
He in fact made a case right after that. I was with him, and he said,
Okay, how you doing? Good. I have rediscovered how to do the hair.
strong in the
Are you almost done? Yes, I'm on the last one. Good. I may need 11? Yeah. Oof. Okay, so I found I need to redo, I may need to redo some of them, but, Do you need more hair? I don't know. I'll get back to you. Okay. Love you. Night. Good night.
No, do not legalize prostitution. Do not criminalize prostitutes either. I'm very much against any prostitute.